This is set number 9483, Agent Mater's Escape. This is a Cars 2 set released in 2012, 144 pieces, ages 5 to 12, 2 Cars characters included, because there are not many figures, and retails for $14.99. It's actually really good at that price point, because there are several different Cars sets that are at $15, and they usually have 2 figures and maybe another accessory or so with it. So it's a good idea for LEGO and Disney to make sets at that price. So they're cheap enough that people will want to buy them and collect the figures. And it's also not too expensive for just, the licensing involved with Disney. So let's take a closer look at this set now, starting off with our instructions. Now, this is not a spoiler, but I mentioned this is from Cars 2. It only says Cars on here, but it's based on Cars 2. This is part of the scene, or it takes some parts of the scene from the movie. A little bit of, I guess you count as an entire scene, where Agent Mater is escaping. He uses a parachute and rockets to fly off to escape some of the lemons. That's all I'm really going to tell you, because that's all you really need to know for this set. And, if you know the movie, it might help. You get this kind of high-tech look on the inside of the instructions. Usually on the box, they show you on the back all the pieces involved. This one is built in bags too. The parachute comes as a separate item in the box, and box 1 builds Mater. It builds Mater with all of his accessories on. Probably the most accessories for any version of Mater in Cars. Then bag 2 allows us to build Petrov. That's the specific lemon in this set, and the spy camera. It's actually not a camera. It's a camera that's disguised. No, it's a laser. Sorry, that's disguised as a camera. And I'm not going to give any more spoilers than that. That's, again, all you need to know for this set. That's why it's implemented in this set. So here's a checklist from 2011 with all of those figures, and shows you Cars 1 and Cars 2 figures from those sets. Here is also more from 2011. This one is among them. No, it's not. It's shown on the next page with 2012 Cars characters. So it's a nice thing to add on in the back of the book, so you have a checklist for all the different characters. I might need to mark this one because I still have I have a few more I want to get, and I already got Francesco, so I need to mark that in. But here is Mater and here is Petrov, and it also shows the sets that each of these figures are in. That's in the very back of the instructions. So, we don't have any minifigures to review, we just have to take a closer look at the cars themselves. Now, I think I got this one's name correctly. It doesn't really show it as a figure on Brickset, because it's a brick-built vehicle. But if I'm correct, this one's name is Petrov, and he does have a last name which I can't remember or pronounce correctly. But I gotta say, he's a really nice looking car, even as just a car, If you if you change around some of the pieces and accessories, you can make this into a nice minifigure sized car. He's got that sand green look on him, which we don't see too often in LEGO sets, especially in Cars, as general cars, not just the licensed theme. But it is good to get this good amount of pieces. He only has one expression on his face, and it's mostly a smirk. We get that nice little logo on there. I'm not sure what company that's supposed to be. And he comes with a flick-fire missile on the side. He also has some printing on the back of him, 1971 SMK. Maybe that's a car that's based on, I'm not sure. But let me know in the comments if you think that's what it is. It's a very boxy looking, very, very plain looking kind of car. Kind of like your typical idea of just a regular car. Maybe not nowadays, but maybe, a couple of years ago. Still relative, If you ask a kid to draw a car, just any, plain car, they'll probably draw something like this. So, anyways, I mentioned there was a flick-fire missile on here, which can be angled in different ways. Oh man, I just lost it. I'll have to look for it after the review. But you see that it can work, and it's a relatively good height above the ground, so you can still use it without having to tilt the car or lift it up or take it out of play. The next object we have is the laser camera. And I mentioned that this is used in the Cars 2 movies, kind of a primary item, and it's nice that LEGO made it into a LEGO model. We do have a printed piece on here that says HD World Grand Prix, so it looks like a camera. It very well does. I'm sure that you could use this even with LEGO minifigures as a giant high-tech camera. More of a car's size of a camera, but still nice. You could somewhat position this different ways. It shows on the front of the instructions. It's kind of raised up, but the way to position it is just by moving these pieces back and forth. So that shows, how far up it's going, how far down it's going, but you don't really have much in the ways of posing it. It's mainly just, it is, at that level or so. No features on it whatsoever. However, Cars fans would appreciate this because it plays a role in Cars 2. Fans of Cars 2 would like this as a LEGO model. And it's nice. It's also at a relative height of other Cars figures, such as Petrov. So you could use it, just as they do in the movie. You just have to squeeze it down a little bit, but it's still relative height. It doesn't mean it's perfect, it just means it's, compared to him, it looks okay. And last but not least, we have our heavy-duty Agent Mater. He's got a lot of accessories going on in this one, some of them combined with other sets. Now, he has one of several facial expressions on his windshield piece and on his bumper. They are not unique to this set only. I believe they've been used in other Cars 2 related sets with him as Agent Mater. He has machine guns on the side, which originally were used by LEGO minifigures in Batman. And these are just flipped upside down and attached here. He has a parachute function, which is just positioned right by his tow truck hook, I guess you could call it that. And doesn't have an actual ability to fly or hover. So, already tested, not working. And we just had a piece that fell off, which is okay to fall off, may I say. It's the one time I will allow something to fall off. Is this rocket booster piece. And this is kind of unique. And it is also another add-on accessory that Mater uses in the movie. He uses it in the later half of the movie, in case you're wondering. So, what I wanted to say, we also get a lot of detailed pieces on here, such as his back bumper, the tow Mater on the side, tow Mater, something radiator springs. I can't read in the middle section. It's a really tiny print. And we also got the print on the front and the same print over here. Now, he does have a faded look to him because he was originally a light blue, just like in the back, but has become more brownish over time. So that's the idea of the multiple colors, and also has a little rundown. That's why it only has the one headlight here. So it was a nice effect for this figure. It's kind of, these are kind of like your Hot Wheels or model car type figures in LEGO form. So they're really nice for being compact, for being durable, and for being, easy to build and able to work, So I like the style for these. These are like the tiny turbos that LEGO released for Racers line, and it works really well with cars in general. The size compared to other figures works well, and they're very durable, like I said. very few times where you find things falling off. Now, speaking of falling off parts, what I like about this set, if you didn't want as many accessories, so you only wanted certain ones on, it's easy to take these off. You can just pop these off. This is a fine plastic, in case you were wondering. You can pop some of these off very easily, and then you could just have Tow Mater. Just have him as a tow truck, you know? And then you actually have access to the hook to use it. So that's one really good thing I like about this set, and the other Tow Maters, and in fact, just in general. In contrast to, the model cars, like I was just saying, you could re-customize your figures. So you wouldn't have to buy Mater a bunch of times, but you probably wind up doing that. I've already bought them in 3 different sets. One, for different expressions, and just because they were in different sets, for different purposes. So you could just have the parachutes. You could have the parachutes and the machine guns. You could have just the machine guns. You could have the rockets only. You could have the rockets and the machine guns. You could have the rocket and the parachutes. You got different combinations for customizing this figure. So technically, this is the set you want to get with the most accessories for Mater at one time, and you can re-customize it to fit whatever you want it to do. It has the ability to work as just Mater, or completely as Agent Mater, or some things as Agent Mater. So it's actually my favorite of all the Mater variations, because it's so, what's the word? It's so useful in a lot of ways. And I think that's the one thing that's funny. I mentioned that he's useful in this set, because, well, it leads into the idea of the movie, if you know what I mean. I also like Petrov. He's a very good figure. And I really think if you customize him a little bit, you can make him into a nice, average LEGO minifigure friendly car. You can just take most of these pieces and, build a little different base for him, because most of his base is kind of blocky on the inside. You just take a couple pieces, change them up, and you can make him into a nice figure. And just a nice car. You also get some of these pieces, which is actually kind of a rare color for that. So, I would recommend getting this set if you can. If you can't, no big deal. If you're a Disney fan, if you're a Cars fan, you will like this a lot. If you're not, you could probably make do with some of the stuff, but you probably won't get the most out of it unless you're a Disney and Cars fan. So thanks for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time. I'm gonna go look for a missile.